Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages. It's that time once again. It's Miles Culture Plate in with a special bonus stream. Uh, let's see if you're watching on Rumble. I have not brought the chat up yet. I'm going to do that right now. Go ahead and pop that out. Okay. Pop out the chat. Okay, we are now ready to actually stream. Sorry, I kind of scheduled the stream for a moment late. Oh, James Hunziker says, I dig that song. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, I wrote that song. So yeah, I kind of felt it fitting for a political show here. So yeah, we're gonna be talking a little bit in this special bonus episode of Miles Culture Plate. It is December 10th, 2023. And yeah, I just did a show yesterday, and I was going to do a show Monday, tomorrow. My original intention was I was supposed to be having an overnight stay at the hospital tonight and therefore have to take tomorrow off of work. So I promised my audience a show tomorrow. And well, instead of doing that, I'm going to have to do one tonight. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing a little special bonus show. And then I wasn't quite sure what I would talk about in this bonus show, but then we were gifted by the internet gods. One thing I did not cover on my show yesterday was this whole buzz around this poll that Elon Musk had put out. I think it was originally by ALX had put out a poll. Should Musk bring Alex Jones back on Twitter? And like it was like 98% said yes. And then Musk's like, no, you know what? I'll do a poll of my own. And he did. And then, of course, like 80% of people said, yeah, you should bring Alex Jones back. He didn't do anything warranting a ban. And we'll get into some of that. But around the same time, another thing I didn't cover yesterday on my show was Tucker Carlson put out an interview with the father of Gonzalo Lira, also known as Coach Red Pill. We covered his story a couple times on this show, where he was essentially put in a Ukrainian prison and charged with basically war intelligence crimes. And then he was released on bond, did a real quick live stream, and then said he was going to go on the run and leave the country. And then he was never heard from again. He's been snatched up. Well, anyway, Tucker Carlson had an interview with his father yesterday on Twitter, or maybe it was the night before, on Twitter. And so we might be touching a little bit of both of those stories, but really the big thing about the Alex Jones thing, it became bigger than Alex Jones today. Alex Jones returned to Twitter today, and immediately Mario Nawfal invited him to do a Spaces, which Spaces is essentially like an audio call-in show. If you've never done a Twitter Space, I've tried to do a couple here on my show and it didn't work out. But they're pretty interesting. You know, you get to hear different people from the public request speaking roles. And then when they're given a chance to speak, they ask questions and, you know, talk to the moderators about certain issues. And then it moves on to another person. And the topics get kind of fluid and very philosophical. You know, if you're bored and looking for audio things to do, Twitter Spaces, well, and now known as X Spaces or X Town Halls, they're pretty interesting to listen to sometimes. But today, Mario Nawfal had invited Alex Jones on, and even though Alex Jones's Twitter account had been restored, because his Twitter account still had some leftover banned status, he had to call in from someone else's Twitter account. So you're not going to see his name in the box. But I mean, it's clearly you're hearing Alex Jones's voice on the live stream. And we're going to play a few key parts of the live stream. So from the time it started to the time it ended, we heard from a lot of famous people in internet and conservative circles. We heard from Congressman Matt Gaetz. We heard from presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. We heard from Elon Musk himself. We heard from Andrew and Tristan Tate. And they all had pretty interesting things to say. I believe at one point Laura Loomer was on. I think someone said that the redhead libertarian was on. I can't remember all the people I heard. It was almost a 3-hour live stream. So, I'm going to kind of play a little bit of it. We'll get into some of it and we'll talk a little bit about it. And if there's still time left, I'm going to be skipping forward. There's one part in particular that I'm really going to be looking for that I really want you folks to hear. And again, I should have had this prepared ahead of time, but again, if you watched the stream right before this, I did a whole stream where I reviewed a bunch of comic books and complained about the state of DC Comics. But as I said in that show, I'm not as prepared as I would have liked to have been, but this has been kind of a crazy weekend, and I had to cook dinner and was watching some of the NFL football that was going on. So multitasking, and trying to get chores done and trying to do these live streams. I'm not as prepared as I would like to be, but let's get into the topic at hand here. Present, share screen. Okay. And I'm actually going to readjust the layout here because you don't need to see as much. There we go. Let's do that. Okay. You don't need to see as much of this screen here. I'll go ahead and play. We're 3 minutes in because there was a whole minute of silence at the beginning of the file.
You are good.
Zev, can you hear me? Beautiful.
I spoke to Alex earlier too, and I think he's just, because he's been banned for so long, he's just trying to figure out how to get in and utilize everything because
so this is Laura
he said
Loomer
he's getting
speaking.
on the space.
And now, the Krasenstein brothers are in on this.
Yeah, his app probably says Twitter.
Yeah, there's two. No, but there's two issues. So the first one is I cannot DM him.
Still connecting here. Okay, so we're 8 minutes in.
I'm still locked out of a lot of features.
So still locked out of a lot of features.
And I was unable to get verified today until Jack Posobiec called some folks he knew at Twitter, and they were able to even allow me to get on the Twitter. So I'm here, and as soon as they fix that glitch, I'll be glad to call in from my phone. But for now, I'm with Chase Kaiser.
Yeah, and we've just got Jack up on stage as well.
So he's speaking from Chase
Jack,
Kaiser's
we
phone.
appreciate you trying to fix. So what happens, Alex, when you try to join the space
Smith
from your
in the
account?
chat,
You can't
Jack
see the
Posobiec.
space, so it doesn't allow you to join.
Wow.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me, Alex? What happens? So when you try to join, does it just not show the space, or you can't click and join?
No, it lets me begin to join, and then it sent me an error message saying your account is banned. I have a screenshot of it.
See, his account is still banned.
It could be just technical.
Even
well,
from Spaces.
First question that I have for you, we've got a pretty
even though his
incredible
account's
panel.
unbanned on X.
Probably know we're going to go to the panel in a bit as well for questions. But first I want to applaud you for coming here. You could have gone anywhere, but you came on a platform that we ask the hard questions. We always try to represent all sides of every discussion and avoid echo chambers.
So again, this is Mario Nafal.
As you got reinstated on X. So I want to applaud that step.
That's NAWFAL.
First question I have for you. How does it feel to be back?
Well, I've got to say it's not about me. It's about everybody having the courage to stand up for free speech, particularly Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, and others. And because when we put up with somebody else being censored for whatever reason the media says, or whether...
Okay, I got to address something real quick. One of the things you're going to continue to hear is Alex Jones being a little submissive to Elon Musk throughout this. And there's even a certain point where Mark Dice joins the call. And I don't know if we're going to get that far into the file today, but even Mark Dice, who has been very critical of Elon Musk in the past, kind of asks him a hard question, but not the hard questions that I'm sure Mark Dice would have liked to ask Elon Musk. And Alex even's like, no, we don't need to go there. We don't need to criticize him for that. We're doing good. So it's like Alex has a really submissive position when it comes to Elon in this, and some of the things that he talks about with Elon, particularly the tech, the transhumanist type of tech, he kind of gives apologies for, and we'll try to get into some of that, but let's continue to hear from Alex here.
There's something they said that was wrong or something that hurts our feelings. When we censor somebody else or go along with it, we end up censoring everybody else, including ourselves. And so I want to applaud everybody for, after 5-6 years of this nightmare, for waking up to the truth of what's really going on. And so it's very exciting.
So I did want to play the beginning of this really where he talks about the censorship.
And I'm not just seeing this, here in cyberspace on Twitter, which has obviously exploded and just is dominating while the old big tech dinosaurs die, because they are like Pravda in the old Soviet Union. So it's very, very exciting to be part of history. But really, this isn't about me. This is about the public recognizing that the process that was used to demonize me, misrepresent what I said and did, and then silence me and then build straw men. Once they silence you off all major platforms, they're able to then steal your identity and then turn you into something you weren't.
Turn you into a straw man.
Clips
so basically what he's saying is, once you're banned, journalists can say whatever the fuck they want about you, and what are you going to do? Where are you going to respond? How are you going to respond? People don't see you.
With them because we need to hear what they actually have to say in real time, especially in this so connected world, because this is the real discrimination of the future with these social credit scores and AI systems. Is using excuses to block humans off the web, but then giving bots free reign. That's another visionary thing that Elon Musk has done, is declare war on the bots, declare
Jackson
war
Hinkle
on
and
robots
Bowling
that are
stealing
stealing identities and masquerading as humans. That's really critical.
So one thing
I'm going to skip forward a little
3
bit.
weeks ago, but then since then, all those big
Elon still hasn't joined.
A crisis on a military.
I want to skip forward to either Laura Loomer talking or when Elon joins. I don't remember which happened first.
So when I criticize Israel,
so let me
sink at us, and so that's where I stand on that. Is Jack still there?
He is, and we also
an hour at least stand down.
Okay,
with
Elon Musk has joined now.
10 minutes wrong, but when you're talking 3-4 hours a day, and Alex Jones, all of you. So these totalitarians,
threat to our constitutional republic, and
okay, there it is.
You can mark that day as a shot around the world in the info war, and when we turn the tide.
So in your interview with
in danger, I think Elon's dad is right.
Okay, here we go.
If you don't think Trump's in danger for what he's
doing,
it's changed the world.
Sorry for all the
explode. We've seen the engagement.
I'm sure this sounds like lovely to all y'all at home.
Was asked by Leslie Stahl, okay, you guys tripled the sanctions that George Herbert Walker Bush had on before.
Elon's in there now.
Over 1 million Iraqis have died, 500,000 of them children. That number later.
Okay, so what he's talking about now,
not debated.
To bring you up to speed,
is that a good price to pay?
What he's saying is,
he said yes.
They call him a conspiracy theorist.
We basically do it again. Now that
let me go back a minute.
They called us crazy,
and Laura had a plan for history, but instead of forcing it down our throats,
we'll start there from 22 minutes
to come to the table, and all of us collectively.
We'll listen from here. It's going to be about 5 minutes worth of shit, but I can't find a happy medium between 23
into understanding that you can't work with this 6 part 2. Now there's going to be bumps. There's going to be a lot of problems, in the way.
Threat to our constitutional republic, and
people are now threatening nuclear blackmail if we don't keep their money laundering operation going.
Okay,
it's got to end.
We'll listen to this part. Sorry, folks.
Stop now. And the world sees that, and the world knows that. So I think
25
instead of
this
even being a political movement, it's a worldwide Renaissance 2.0 that simply doesn't want to blow the planet up and just wants common sense and wants all the crazy Hitlerian, Napoleonic, corporate war games to end. And so I just think that sanity is beginning to flood back into the discourse.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the Ukraine war. We're going to talk about Gaza as well, and you've talked about it on Tucker's interview. I've got a few quotes from there. I'm going to take a few questions from the panel, maybe 3 quick questions. Laura, and then Brian.
Thanks, Mario.
So here we go. Laura Loomer.
I saw that you were asking Alex about whether this threatens democracy. I think the biggest issue is that this has been a threat to our constitutional republic and democracy all around the world.
When you have
been blowing blowing the whistle on this for
When
years.
you have tech
I
companies
can't
taking
help but
away
think back to the day
people's
before
ability
Alex
to
was permanently
communicate.
banned from Twitter, and that was September 5th, 2018, when Alex and I attended the congressional
When you haven't
hearing
committed any
on big tech
crimes.
censorship, and we called out Jack Dorsey. And it was Republicans who, shouted me out and had us thrown out of the hearing room.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for people to know that Republicans had enough time. They were in control of the House and the Senate. And Trump was in the White House when Alex
There
and
we
I were
go.
trying to warn people about how this would impact our elections.
You had
how
a
this would impact our
Republican-controlled
ability
Congress.
to have open discourse.
And they wouldn't listen to Laura
when
and
we were,
Alex
screaming from the
about the
top
dangers
of
of
our
tech
lungs
censorship.
about how they were going to shut down people's bank accounts and use big tech to steal the election with Yael Roth sitting in the front row with Jack Dorsey. It's all on video. Okay. They called us crazy.
And Laura, let me just back you up on this. I talked to Trump back at the time, and I said, listen, they're already curtailing you way back 90%. And he was still so confident he didn't take it serious. And this is a big criticism of Trump. He spoke some about censorship, but once he got banned, then it became front and center. Because again, there's still, especially in really older people. I'm not
Yeah, because your mainstream media cares more about Trump than they do Alex Jones.
At the time,
like they could demonize
they
Alex Jones behind the block all day, but
and I mean, remember just a few years ago, they would have
they
congressional
need
hearings,
Trump's
and Google
daily to feed
would
on.
lie to the telecommunications
Like
committee
they need
and say,
Trump
no,
to
we
make
don't track
daily
anybody's
news.
phones or locations. And they'd say, okay, good, I heard that.
So even though
And
Trump
Congressman
was
would say,
banned from everything,
why does it pop up on there? Where's that coming from?
they still had to
So
report on
you've
him on
got
a daily
people
basis.
that are dinosaurs when it comes to tech who don't understand any of it. And you have a judiciary that's the same. And so it's the blind leading the blind. And they don't understand that a new government, a multinational technocracy, has already basically taken the world over. Now they're starting to catch up really quick. But, I know Jack Posobiec's on here. Jack has been in intelligence. He's connected to so many things going on. And Jack has been warning
the show caption button doesn't
for
work.
6 months that Biden would threaten physical war right before the election and use an expansion of that war to try to cancel the election or stay in power. And now,
okay, Elon Musk is on now. And see, there was
Alex,
a lot of this.
Did he drop out?
The audio cutting out.
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I think you got a call. Yeah, go ahead.
How much of that got over? I'm sorry. How much?
All of it. It's literally up to the Biden part. Last few seconds.
Well, it's just that Biden represents the worst war hawks, the people that took us to all these illegal wars, the people that killed millions of Iraqis with sanctions. Madeleine Albright, the Democrats, the Republicans. Let's not forget Madeleine Albright on 60 Minutes was asked by Leslie Stahl, okay, you guys tripled the sanctions that George Herbert Walker Bush had on before. And over 1 million Iraqis have died, 500,000 of them children. That number later doubled to 1 million children, 1 million adults.
Okay.
Not debated. And they said, is that a good price to pay? And she said, yes, it's a good price to pay. We basically do it again.
So I went back and listened to all that. And we
mindset
really
of
didn't get
Republican
much out of
Democrat
that.
war hawk leadership that is so crazy. They've been putting out white papers that are being circulated by the highest levels of the Pentagon that nuclear war is survivable. So all I'm saying is
Elon
that
just
we have
dropped
to get
out.
control of our governments again to literally
he's gonna drop back
stop
in here
them
in a
destroying
second.
the planet. And I don't think I'm exaggerating to say that. And Jack's been warning about this.
Jack, any comments on this before going to Brian?
Yeah, hey Mario, hey
Jack
Alex,
Posobiec.
great to see you back here on X in its new iteration. And I do think that because we face such a complex and unique series of threats right now,
Elon Musk just
one
popped
of which
back in.
I would include, and I would not put it beyond this current establishment to find an excuse to, as we saw in 2020, they used the crisis of COVID to change the way that we
that's
hold
Elon
elections
Musk
fundamentally
parody.
in the
Damn
United
it.
States, right? That's without question. They did do that. That they
The
would
Elon
look or
Musk parody
seek
account
for
popped
a
in.
crisis on a military, right? On a military
He got me. You got me,
footing
Elon Musk parody.
to whether it be Gaza, whether it be Ukraine, whether it be a crisis involving the Taiwan Strait, whether it be something else that we haven't even talked about at this point, to then
They
go
keep
in
bringing up
and find
all
a
of
new
this
way
war
to put
stuff.
controls on our election. Because look,
And
I
Alex
was
later
with,
in the broadcast,
President Trump last night in New York, we had a huge gala.
Alex later in the broadcast really brings all this war stuff home because, look, if they can suspend Alex for questioning the unquestionable, right? questioning whether or not the media circus around the dangerous, deadly tragedies that happened in Connecticut. But yet, everyone in the media can get the Bush administration, the WMDs, Operation Northwoods, the intel that led us into Iraq and Afghanistan. Our entire media complex and government can get things really fucking wrong on really fucking deadly levels. And yet the media carries their water. The advertisers don't mind. And yet Alex Jones and Elon Musk have to face this uphill battle to continue to make a living. Now, granted, they're both pretty well known and somewhat well off. I mean, especially Elon Musk's rich ass. But still, in order to keep X profitable, they need advertisers or subscribers. So putting Alex Jones back on is a risky business proposition. Not putting him on might be even riskier.
Gala dinner, and we talked about the importance of this next election and how it really plays into the censorship
Yeah, let me see if I can get to
that
Elon
we
Musk here.
operate on social media and the way that we share information.
It's
And
still
up
parody?
until the
Yeah.
point of Elon Musk purchasing
telling you that they're the arbiter of truth and using sly methods like Snopes and others do to deceive people. I welcome people correcting me. You know, when I'm on the radio / TV doing my weekday shows at InfoWars,
This is
I've got a
true.
crew and they're running it, and they don't tell me what to say or do. But for them, you know, putting radioactive isotope in his
with that situation.
Israel stood
Okay,
down,
so the real
and
Elon
they're
Musk comes
surrounded.
in.
They're surrounded. Israel stood down, and Netanyahu said, "Well, let's investigate it after the war is over." Well, now he's saying it's going to last 10 years. So
There we go.
there is something rotten.
Yeah,
in
you
the
heard
state
the
of
criticisms of the
This time it's rotten in the state
Israeli
of Israel.
response
You have $6 billion
to
sent
their
by
invasion.
Biden to Iran a month before. Iran is financing Hamas through Hezbollah. And so I'm not saying Hamas works for Israel, even though Israel helped set it up in the late 1970s. That's on record. There's some larger global destabilization going on here so that the war hawks make more money and have political distractions. So I think what we know for a fact is Israel stood down. We just don't know exactly who or why.
Jackson?
Yeah, I have a question for Alex. And Alex, by the way, it was great
so
being
this is
on your show
Jackson
about 2
Hinkle.
weeks ago. I had a fantastic conversation with you. My question for you is, you know, we look at the Trump administration that's probably going to be forming, and the first Trump administration, he, you know, handpicked, or, you know, they kind of had the Republican Party put a bunch of people in that were deep state appointees that were very pro-war. It wasn't until the end of the administration when we saw more rational minds like Colonel Douglas Macgregor begin to rise up. So in this next Trump administration, obviously, I think he's going to be filling the spots, the important spots, with those anti-war voices, given everything that's happening with China, Russia, Gaza, and all the people that want to go to war right now so much with those countries. But you know, Trump is only going to be in office for 4 years, and then who's next? You're going to have another pro-war spokesperson like
this
Ron
is true.
DeSantis probably running. And
You
Gavin
have to
Newsom.
change
So
the mentality of
what's
the
the
American
answer to how we
populace
can actually rid
to
these
where we just don't
anti-human,
accept war anymore,
Malthusian
period.
scum from our government? Does Trump have to lock them in prison? I mean, I personally would support that, but how do you think we actually rid this problem once and for all?
Well, I don't know if Jack Posobiec's there, but
Now Elon Musk popped
he
in.
and Steve Bannon are probably the smartest people on this subject. So if he's still there, please pop in after me. But let me just give you a 35,000-foot view. What you said is totally true about Trump thought, hey, this is like a business. I'm going to come in, bring people in. They're going to do what I tell them. No, Obama signed the Countering Foreign
Following
Disinformation
Jackson Hinkle in
Propaganda
real
Act
time.
as one of his last acts. when he left office in 2017.
Following Laura Loomer in real
and he
time.
put a stay behind networks in the agencies, State Department, FBI, CIA, Justice Department, and some think tanks to
Eric
actually
Bolling of
undermine
Newsmax.
Trump under the auspices of him being a Russian agent with no proof. So this was going on at the RNC in 2016 in
Can't believe I
Cleveland.
wasn't
It
following Dave
later
Smith
came out.
before.
They'd already designated him with no proof as a Russian agent and turned these systems loose on him and the American people. So Trump has said when he gets in, he is going to purge the leadership of the U.S. attorneys, all of them, which Clinton did that as well, so it's constitutional.
Okay, but I'll believe it when I
That's
see
why
it.
they
He
say
didn't
he's gonna be a
purge the
dictator.
fucking swamp
He's going to
before.
kill everybody and
In fact, the most dangerous
prosecute his
swamp
political enemies.
creature,
They're the ones that have been
Anthony
doing that.
Fauci, stayed
All
on
he's gotta
board through
do
the
is
Trump
remove
administration.
them, and he's been provided with
Okay,
lists
I'm gonna
now.
skip
He's one
forward
of the
and
top
try to get
writers
to
at the Globe. And so
where
that's why,
Elon's chiming in
and
here.
I hope your smarter course, everybody.
He did
Wow,
say
what
that
a-
connections to your account. The reason you couldn't join is it take a few more hours for all the connections to be restored. But you were thanking Elon earlier. He's on stage, Alex, for you to thank him and ask him any questions
Here
you
we
have,
go.
or vice versa. Elon, how are you?
And now Vivek
Good,
Ramaswamy's in.
Marianne. Yeah, it's been these are tumultuous times, wild times indeed. As you just mentioned, when there's an account with a large number of followers that is restored to the system, there are a lot of connections that need to get you have to re-knit the thing together, so that takes several hours. The Alex's account should be working, I think.
Okay, 5433. I might have to refresh this here real quick. Play recording, 55.
Are upset about, or at least
sink at us. And so that's the Information Propaganda Act shooting. So you're kind of counting your chickens before they back off and bureaucracy.
And we also have Elon on here. Elon, how are you?
good for followers that is restored to the system. There are a lot of connections that need to get
There we go. It's close enough.
you have to re-knit the thing together, so that takes several hours. The Alex's account should be working, I think.
5433 again.
And because it's not like, obviously, if somebody's sort of denying or that murders of children, that's not cool at all. And so just what
So
exactly
right
did
away
you
he
say,
asks him, what did you say
what is
about
going on
Sandy
with
Hook?
that situation? I would like to actually hear what did you say, and yeah.
So this tells us all that, like, Elon doesn't follow
thank
Alex
you
Jones.
for allowing me back into the public square so that I can actually tell the world what really happened. So, and I hope this is the last time. I'm happy to do
Probably
it.
not the last time,
that I ever...
but still.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how much. Would you like the short answer or the medium answer or the long?
I look for this to like be I'm waiting for YouTube to drop me here.
Obviously, it would be like heartless and cruel to deny a school shooting of children.
Okay, we're gonna just skip over this just because
damages. There was never any video of people peeing on graves. Any video of people at houses.
As much as I would like to broadcast Alex Jones's explanation of that, I don't think it's going to be allowed on YouTube.
It's Sandy. I'll say the name. He was there, and he didn't have an FBI vest on, and his gun was pointed the wrong direction, pointed upside down. The internet questioned him when he got on the stand in Connecticut. My lawyer said, "Has Mr. Jones ever said your name?" No. Has Mr. Jones ever put your picture on the internet? No. Have any of his hosts done it? No. Has InfoWars ever put your picture out or said your name? No. What happened to you, sir? One man, he said, called me at my offices, like 7 years ago. This is like 8 years ago now, and asked me if I was really an FBI agent. The jury gave him $94 million that doesn't exist. $94 million that never said his name. So I challenge people to find me say any of their names. I said one guy's name, and I apologized to him on the stand. The thing had probably 100 million views on 5 or 6 different YouTube videos.
Okay, so he goes on to talk about all the times he's apologized.
I kind of have a question for you, Elon. So
Okay.
let's say
Well,
that.
okay. I mean,
Well,
So
this
this
is
is
not
Krassenstein.
this is not an
No, no.
opportunity to interview me.
No, it's in regards to Alex Jones. So
Okay.
it's related. So
Okay.
let's say Alex
Listen to this
Jones or
scumbag.
somebody else does the same thing, but clearly directly claims that a school shooting did not take place when we know it did. Does that future person or Alex Jones get banned, or is the new policy that they remain?
We need to look at the circumstances there. The you know the rule that we're trying to follow here is to obey the law.
Obey the
So
law.
obey the laws of the United States, obey the laws of the countries in which X is present, and really do our best to not go beyond the law, on the premise that if the people wish the law to be different, then the people will ask their representatives or their leaders to change the law. But otherwise, our goal is to
toward the end of the live
hew
stream
as
here,
closely to the law as possible.
another
So if somebody
person
says something that is
far,
unlawful,
leftist
then we will take action. If someone does not do
calls in
something
and
that is
asks the
unlawful,
exact same
we
question.
would aspire to not take
like-
action. If the laws change, of course, then we will adjust our behavior accordingly. So that's sort of the general approach that we're taking. And now that we have community notes, which, while it's not perfect, I think
This is important.
it's the best fact checking that I've seen on the internet.
Now
And
there,
so if someone were to post
I want
false
to point out
information,
something here.
they can be community noted. It's always important to say, like, no fact checking system is perfect. If perfection is the standard, you can just basically dispense with all fact checking, because
He
nothing
says
will be
no
perfect.
fact checking is
It's really,
perfect.
It's really how good is the batting average of any
So
fact
again,
checking system. My
the
observation
video I
of
was talking
community
about
notes is
earlier
that
about Gonzalo
the
Liro's
batting average, the probability
father
that the note is correct
on
is
Tucker
very
Carlson.
high.
Down here, we have community notes. And hang on, there's another comment.
Combating disinformation.
I agree.
Yeah,
Can I throw something in real quick here?
sure.
Look, this is why I believe what people were saying and actually questioned and for a little while thought it might not have happened. We were lied to about WMDs in Iraq. We were lied to about anthrax in Iraq. There was Operation Northwoods.
That is true.
There was Operation Northwoods in 2000. ABC News, declassified. U.S. government plan to stage fake mass shootings and blowing up airlines with people that would take off and would land, CIA, and then they would actually just blow up a drone plane and then claim a mass event had happened or claim a mass fake shooting happened. So lied about what he did. Hezbollah, Hamas, Hezbollah did kill a lot of Israelis. Yes, in fact, but it wasn't true that they cut a bunch of kids' heads off. Even the White House and Israel had to admit that. Well, people came out and said they didn't believe that there was proof that Hamas cut heads off. So the establishment view was they did cut heads off, but they didn't. So how do we penalize people? I mean, if somebody wants to believe the Earth's flat, they have a right. The community knows that everybody else is talented.
Welcome, Julia Delfiki. Yeah, it's not a normal stream of mine. I'm not even drinking whiskey, but cheers, man. Good seeing you. So he's talking about the Israel stuff, but while he's going on about that, I want to talk about this Elon Musk tweet. So again, you got the Gonzalo Lira video, or the Papa Lira video, right? And then Elon Musk says, interesting, this note is being gamed by state actors. Will be helpful in figuring out who they are. Thanks for jumping in the honeypot, guys.
Quite proud of cutting off heads. This particular circumstance, perhaps there is some uncertainty.
Yeah,
but
they're
they
splitting
do
hairs over the
cut off a lot of
decapitated
heads.
children.
And there's no question about that. And they appear to be quite jubilant. They're quite happy when they cut these heads off.
Elon,
So,
I don't like Hamas. I don't
yeah,
like the Muslim Brotherhood. I don't like Hezbollah. You're at
We're
that
gonna
is
go a
you're
little
right.
bit
That is
long
a
here.
hallmark.
they
Like
they they
Yosemite Sam,
they're
Yosemite
proud of
Sam.
cutting off heads. Is
Yeah.
my observation.
No, I mean, I agree. Yosemite Sam's,
Yeah.
his hallmark is
So Vivek's
shooting his
back
guns
in
and a red
again.
beard and he's short. Hamas's calling card is cutting off heads. I totally agree,
Vivek.
but I'm
Yeah,
saying
I
they
guess
do that a lot.
people are mad that I don't say
you're right.
Vivek.
Yeah.
Elon, do you mind if
And
mind if I
Twitter,
jump
Oh,
and
in
here
for
we
a
go.
second?
So here's
Twitter
Vivek.
1.0.
Hold
I'll
on.
just
Yeah,
say,
go ahead. Yeah.
I'll say
Well, Laura,
too,
go to you
Twitter.
right after.
Yeah, I just
I'm
want
going to go to you right after Vivek.
I,
Yeah, go ahead, Vivek.
I just wanted to share one thought in response to Ed's
He just
question,
called
which
it
is
Vivek.
let's take the content of whatever speech it was that's off the table, kids being shot in schools or otherwise. I think there's two kinds of ways to worry if you're worried about the spread of misinformation or false facts. One is let's deal with the content of the speech itself. And Elon talked about community notes as being imperfect, though it is maybe the best method out there on the internet.
I think Vivek's the
And I
one
think
who brings
that's
up the
one
Bush
set of
administration
discussions to
stuff I was
have.
talking about earlier.
That's quite a different thing from what the law certainly looks at as the most draconian First Amendment violation, which is what it calls a prior restraint, which is to previously just restrain a person from speaking, period. And I think that is, no matter what the content of the speech is, it's quite a different thing to say that because of who you are or what you have said in the past, you may not say another thing in the future. And so I just think that those are two different concepts. And I just, for one, just wanted to share my experience of my Alex Jones experience.
So yeah, what he's saying is a good point, and Elon touches on it in his response, but we won't get into that. We'll skip forward a little bit here in a second, because I've got an hour program. We're almost at the hour, and I'm gonna have to go over. Even if we may do the Gonzalo Lira stuff in the coming days, man, because at this point in time, I've used up way too much time just surfing through this thing. But he brings up a good point, and that is you can't punish someone permanently. I mean, you can. There are definitely some crimes that one can commit that you can punish them permanently. But for the most part, punishment is supposed to be reformative. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to have some way of coming back from that and behaving normally and good. And so this idea that Alex Jones did, the unthinkable, the unforgivable, and he can never do anything good again. Bullshit.
If I may,
That is perfectly said.
Yeah.
That's because you don't cut somebody's tongue out,
yeah.
even if I did bad things in the past. And I certainly wasn't
But you know what? If
Okay,
people
so let
say
me skip
false
forward.
things, they just
So there's one other bit I want you folks to hear from Vivek Ramaswamy. And I think it occurs around the time that Alex is talking to the Tate brothers. So let's skip forward a little.
I'm not kissing ass here, Elon.
I wanted to hear a
you've
little
got
bit of
big
this.
ones, man. On every front, you are
So
literally.
this is when
overturning
Alex
the
really
entire
starts
power
sucking up to
structure.
Elon.
I was just let Andrew get in, but I just want to say this while you're here. I mean, you are literally changing the entire paradigm. And
Andrew Tate's in there now.
You've definitely got.
Look, I'm not following him.
Scared,
I am now.
and so everybody needs to support X. Everybody needs to support the sponsors on X. I personally am doing all my Christmas shopping this year with all the great gadgets and stuff that are on X. That I'm going to shut up now. But I would imagine instead of talking about Alex Jones, I'd like to hear Andrew Tate talk about or ask questions to Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, Alex is certainly a friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, and I'm extremely happy he's back. I've celebrated that publicly, but Alex nailed it. Elon is taking the biggest risk here. It takes unlimited energy to propagate lies. You have to continually repeat them, and you have to continue to try and falsify information and hide the truth to keep lies afloat. And this simple purchase, you call it simple.
I just want to say, Julian, here, the only thing I know about him is what's happened since he's been captured. So
to run the psyops
I think it'll be an interesting
running and enslave the
interview.
populace, which is
It's
their
his
primary
father.
goal. So Elon is a hero, absolutely. And the risks you are taking, Elon, I don't think many people at home actually understand the gravity of the risks you are taking, because your ability to speak freely is heavily leveraged against your insignificance. You're only allowed to speak if nobody listens to you. And if you get big and people start listening, they're going to come at you hard. And I think I'm not completely versed, but from what I understand, Elon's already suffering the lawfare tactics, which
So what's going on here is yes, Andrew Tate they're really hitting the censorship point home, and yes, Julian Delfigi, it's the Coach Red Pill guy. Yeah, sure. But I wanted to find this particular part where Vivek Ramaswamy interrupts.
it's kind of crazy because I was talking to someone the other day and I was
So what winds up happening is in this three-way conversation between Andrew Tate, Alex Jones. I'm going to give you the short rundown here because I don't want to play it all. Andrew Tate, Alex Jones, and Elon Musk, the three of them start talking about tech, start talking about people in fear. They start talking about the globalists trying to take control of tech and trying to use it as an enslavement system. And they kind of praise Elon Musk because, yeah, you're the tech guy who does scary New World Order stuff, but you do it to further humanity. And Elon Musk kind of backs him up and says, look, I'm a humanist. I don't believe in this overpopulation stuff. I want humanity to grow. I want people to have babies, and I want to essentially grow our species until we get off planet and expand throughout the cosmos. So it's kind of an interesting conversation. Like I said, it really gets deep here right around the minute or hour 20 mark. If you're interested in that conversation, I urge you to go find it. But I want to
Very
find
clear.
So Elon, when are you going to? I know you got 100 irons.
and we're not that far away. So we're in a very
Is equal. That's
If they were 100,
here. Let me see if I can find. Okay, there's two things I wanted to show you that are in the last hour and a half. Let me see if I can find a clip of it. Yeah, here's a video somebody took of it. Okay, let's do this. Let's share this tab instead. Okay. I want you guys to hear this. Ready?
it's promoting an optimistic, pro-human future.
You notice
Science and evidence
Vivek's
shows
mic
real
is
and that
on.
we need.
gentlemen, I have to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I just wanted to sort of yeah, exactly. I want
Hear
to be
that?
clear about my position.
Hear that
I'm
feedback?
super pro-human, and I mean all humans. Humans in America, humans in
Somebody's got their
Africa,
thing
Asia,
open. Peeing.
and
Somebody
everywhere
got
else.
their phone
Alex says somebody's got their phone open peeing.
open in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's Vivek. Vivek, that's your phone, Vivek. I'm not able to mute you.
Vivek Ramaswamy took a
Perfect. Go ahead,
piss
Elon.
on the live stream.
Sorry about that.
So, well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that,
Do
guys.
you feel better? I
Promoting
feel
an
great.
optimistic, pro-human
Let's do that
future.
again, that last part.
Well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great.
It was Elon. Elon said, I hope you feel better now.
Well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great. Thank you.
I feel great. Thank you. Okay, so yes. Julian Delfigi says legend. Yes, that is amazing. I mean, what more could you want out of a presidential candidate, right? But peeing while on the phone with Andrew Tate, Elon Musk, and Alex Jones. Oh man, that is so great. Okay, so I wanted to play that part. Thankfully I didn't have to search for it. Somebody recorded it. Okay, so we really go on and on about the future. Okay. Let me see if I can bring this up here. So Alex keeps trying to. So Alex Jones noticed that Mark Dice joined the space, and he joined the space a long time ago.
Forward from
And so I wanted
start.
to play the Mark Dice
You could
portion
actually
for you
see
folks.
in multiple wavelengths.
What is going on here? Refresh 152. Really 153. Let's try this again.
I'm telling 16-year-olds.
I think I have a very contentious one.
Last 5 years when nobody else would. Mark, quick question for Mark, please.
Quick question from Mark. Here we go.
A comment, really, just to reinforce to everybody listening, all the journalists, and thank you, by the way, Elon, for unbanning Alex, for everything that you're doing for the platform, for humanity. But I just want to reinforce, and I'm glad you retweeted this, Alex. the reason why Twitter cited Alex being banned, contrary to popular belief, is
Good
not
point here.
because he entertained some conspiracy theories about Sandy Hook, as crazy as they were. And Elon just confirmed that the Twitter logs said this. He confronted Oliver Darcy, a public figure on
Oliver
public
Darcy
property, when he was working in the
said it was
capacity of a
dangerous
journalist.
to
And
confront a
they cited that
journalist.
as
But Mark, that's
harassment.
old
So,
news. Let's move on from Alex Jones.
well,
We're
one
talking
thing,
to Elon Musk. What's your question for Elon
well,
Musk?
I didn't see the Twitter file in the Twitter files. Can you release data about the choices that were made regarding the trending list? Because the trending list drives the news cycle, as you
Good
know,
point.
and they can
Good
create
point.
a self-fulfilling prophecy by manually
Let's hear
inserting
Elon's
topics in
response
there,
to this.
getting people to talk about them. It becomes a topic. It becomes news. Did I miss that in the Twitter files, or was that just not released? I would like more data on the manipulation of the trending list to manipulate the news cycles over the previous ownership.
Following CJ Pearson? Okay.
Yeah. Well, there was a significant manipulation of the trending list, and worldwide.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just.
Elon just admits that
I
there's
feel like, as a general rule
it
of
wasn't in the
thumb,
Twitter
whatever
files, but he
conspiracy theory
says
you've
the
got about
trending
Twitter
list is
probably true,
manufactured
even more
or
true than you
was.
think it is.
I don't know if it still is.
Are you taking
So
precautions?
now,
No, go ahead.
yeah, I think the path to having a sort of a clean system is maximum transparency. So that's why, like, for community notes, the software for community notes is completely open source. You can see every line. The data for community notes is completely open source. You can see the data, you can see the logic, and you can independently create the community note conclusion. So you can tell right
But once
away
again,
if
he
there's
says we use community
manipulation.
notes to clean that
there's,
shit
there's
up.
always going to be with these things. It is not black or white. There's always going to be some degree of manipulation, but you just want to try to put as much sunlight on it. As I say, sunlight's the best disinfectant. You want to have it be as clear and transparent as possible. This will minimize the amount of manipulation. So the more visible something is, the less it is in the shadows, the cleaner it will get. Will not be perfect, but it will be much better than something that is hidden.
One other point, I hope that you're making precautions for the possibility of X being banned from the App Store, using it as a save to home screen type of a feature. As you know, that's probably a very real possibility over the next 12 months. But one other thing here, and again, appreciate your time. I would also just politely ask that the InfoWars account and Owen Schroyer and Rob Dew.
There we go.
their
InfoWars,
employees were
Owen
allowed to be
Schroyer, Rob
unsuspended. They
Dew,
were
and be
lumped in with that
unsuspended.
initial suspension. And maybe I think it's time. I do believe CNN violated the terms of service of harassment.
And then he
They posted a video
asks them
a
to
while ago,
ban
years ago,
CNN.
showing them harassing a poor old lady because she shared something on Facebook that originated from Russia. And you can see on the house, they show up to her front yard, you can actually see her address, the number plate right on her house.
He goes on to
Still
say,
Twitter, so-
But Mark, let's not
see,
become
Alex
let's-
interrupts him and says,
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
let's not bash Elon, but
No,
here,
I
listen
just
to
kind of
Elon.
want to troll and give them taste of their own
Well,
medicine. But anyway,
I do want to be clear that doxing, which includes revealing the pseudonym of someone.
He
So I wanna be
reiterates,
clear,
doxing is
sometimes
against
some
TOS.
Publications have claimed that revealing the pseudonym of someone is not doxing when it obviously is, will result in at least a temporary suspension. We will be
Temporary
very reluctant
suspension.
to give permanent suspension.
Okay, so there's a few other decent points in there. Eventually, Matt Gaetz joins, and some people ask Matt Gaetz about some of the legislation that could be done to kind of prevent big tech from having this kind of power. That's some interesting conversation. Like I said, there were a few lefties that called in and basically asked the same crap we heard at the beginning and wasted a bunch of time here. But eventually, then everybody kind of dropped out, and it is what it is. Tristan Tate had called in at some point during that, toward the beginning. Julian Delfici says, Alex Jones said the portion of the call that he was part of will be cut and released by his team for anyone who only wants only that. Okay. Yeah, I did see a whole thing where Alex Jones, I saw a whole ad for Alex Jones where he said he would be airing a lot of this on his upcoming InfoWars show tomorrow. And that he would be clipping a bunch of important clips out and uploading them to his @RealAlexJonesX account. Woo! Okay. But we are over time, as we tend to do here on Mild's Culture Plate. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. Thank you for joining me for this special stream. Like I said, I really had hoped to do a more in-depth stream tomorrow where I covered a little more of the news, covered a little more of the playful things that we cover here on Mild's Culture Plate. At this point in time, because we weren't able to get into the Tucker Carlson Gonzalo Lira video, we may wind up doing a special stream tomorrow if I can squeeze in the time. I probably won't be able to, but I'm going to leave it on the table as a maybe. It just might happen, maybe. If I can get if I could do my job tomorrow and I can come home and get things cleaned up and do a few chores, I'll try to do it around 7 p.m. Central if I have time. But that's a huge if. We're kind of loaded down this week, and we've got a lot of things to take care of before we have guests arrive. And I have no idea when this medical thing, when this sleep study is going to be rescheduled for. So there's a lot of tentative things up in the air. But if I can find time, I will do another bonus stream this week where I will cover the Gonzalo Lira video from Tucker Carlson. And we'll have our normal show Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central, right here, wherever you're watching right now. And yeah, in the meantime, click that like button, click that follow button, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, outlast the haters, don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that in real good. And by the way, Julian Delfici, at the beginning when he first popped in, he said he's going to be over there modding on Talk with Sally channel. She's going to be doing some interesting content tonight as well. So as we wrap up here, I do advise people to go over there. You know what? I wonder. Nah, I'm not even going to try. I've never done the raid thing before. I don't think I can. But definitely go find Talk with Sally. She's going to be covering some interesting information, I think, right now, right? Right, Julian? She's covering it right now. So yeah. As you leave this stream, go find her and watch the stuff she's got going on there. Some very important information. But yeah, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. And I'll catch you next time on Mild's Culture Plate. Peace.